Big up, everybody. It's your boy, Mark and MUFC fan. You know what it is, guys. Smash the likes and subscribe. It's one of those things, people. And you know how your boy does it. He's got some latest information for you. But the transfer window, it's going to be live. It's going to be interesting. We've got some interesting deals coming up that possibly might be in the January transfer window, as Sir Jim Ratcliffe has gave the go-ahead to buy in the January window. He wants to give Amorim every chance he possibly can. So there's some new information and some new breakthroughs, and possibly there's going to be some new signings in January with a war chest somewhere in the region of £100 million. Guys, it's very interesting. Tune in, smash your likes and subscribe. I'm sorry I have the hiccups, but big up to all of you joining. And if you're not watching in the live, don't forget in the non-live section, please smash a like, subscribe, help your boys channel grow. Road to 2K, road to 2K is here. And guys, I really do hope I get to 2K by on Sunday morning tomorrow, guys. So I'm going to really need your help today. In this next 24 hours is going to be crucial to get to hitting that 2K mark. Please share it around, help your boy grow this community. It's an interesting community. And if you come in and you love Man United and you love football, you're welcome here. And you can bring your friends and we can all talk about what you want to talk about. You can suggest the streams, suggest the topics as well. You get the young scouting of talent from me. You get the Trinidad national football team, Soca Warriors. You're going to get World Cup watch-alongs. You're going to get, all the international stuff. You get different views. You get different fans. You get fans from Real Madrid, fans from across the Premier League, as well as Bundesliga. So stay tuned for more, as your boy Marken is going to be bringing you a lot of interesting news. Big up to Irfan Devro in the building, and big up to Lumen. Obviously, he knows why we want Pogba back. And big up to you guys, because, I was a little late to the stream today. But I'm live now, so let's get into the show, and we have a big one planned for you guys. Let's start with talking about what's happening and what we might be looking for, because Ruben Amorim has a lot to say. He's had a lot to say, and he's been saying, I like players with character. And that's very interesting, guys, because as we know, Ruben Amorim is one of those coaches that he does his thing. He has his own view, he has his own style, and he backs himself to win. And Ruben Amorim has been speaking, and the Portuguese coach, since arriving, he has led Sporting to 2 titles, so we know he knows what he's doing. Amorim definitely has a tough job ahead of him at Man United, because you know what? It's been 11 years since we've been standing at the top of the table consistently, so it's going to be a tough uphill battle. Even Ten Hag couldn't get the job done, so now it's Amorim's turn, and it looks like he is the man of the moment, and he's going to be boosted by the fact that United won 3 and drew 1 of their last 4 games under interim boss. That's also going to be a boost for him, as well as the opportunity that, he likes players with character. And this means that he likes players who are willing to fight, give their all 100% week in, week out for the badge. And this might see a change in some of the players that we all love and got to know, because some of the players, they may not have been giving or showing that exemplary fight. And let's talk about it, because the first interesting key signing that might be coming as the talk of the town, as you know, I live in Germany, Sky Sports has been reporting heavily on this, is none other than the defensive midfielder from Atalanta, and we're talking about Jose dos Santos Edison, a long-term target described as highly valued by the club's recruitment department. And Florian Petterberg is revealing that, it looks like Manchester United might be going in for the DM in the January window. It's going to be very interesting to see if they can get the job done. It's going to be very, very interesting for me, and I think it's going to be exciting for all of the Manchester United fans if we can get this done on time, because this would definitely strengthen our midfield core that has been aging over the last few seasons, and of course provide bolstering options across a midfield that definitely needs to be bolstered, seeing that we're going to be changing to a 3-4-3 system where there's going to be 5 in the midfield as opposed to 4, which was the usual number. So it's going to be very interesting, guys. Let's see how it goes. I'm very excited about this news, because it means that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are definitely going to be backing Amorim to the hill, and deservedly so. He is their guy. They sacked Ten Hag to bring him in at all costs. They spent £30 million just to get to land him right when they got him, and they didn't wait for the January. They didn't wait for the end of the season. They wanted him now. So now that he thinks that maybe he might be needing some backup, something to bolster the squad, he might be able to work with quite a few of the players who are there, but there might be some players who definitely may not be able to do what is asked of them. So it's very good to see that, Manchester United and the new structure is planning to back him to the hill. Edison could be one of those signings. We've already spoke about quite a few hosts of signings. Alvaro Fernandez return might be more than likely. It's very cheap, 16.7 million. There will be some outgoings in January as well because, there are reports that Dan Ashworth was told to get on his bike, get the job done, get the transfers in, and we might have to move on some players, so he needs to be finding space for that. And as we're talking about that, I wanted to go into some interesting news about a player that, might be on his way out, that might be opening the door for us to make a few signings, which might be bringing in the cost of the signing for maybe the young Alvaro Fernandez. Because as you know, we spent £12.7 million on Joshua Zirkzee to bring him in this summer. We have another further installments to make over the next 2 seasons because it has been broken up. But it looks like the Man United man might not be lasting past the January window, as there are some reports that Ruben Amorim is trying to assist him, not only to try to see if he can work him into the squad, but also probably find him a solution to his situation, because he's not had a good time or a good start to the season so far. The pressure is seemingly getting to Joshua Zirkzee, and he's not been having a good time. He's unable to find his form, the best of him, and it's been tough because the expectations are very high at Manchester United. So, guys, this is one possibility that might be happening. Another interesting report coming in right now as we are speaking is the reports that Manchester United have made an approach for none other than Camavinga. The £83 million rated midfielder has been flattered after United made contact for a big upgrade on Casemiro in the next coming months. I'm not going to guarantee that this is a January signing, guys, but this is concrete information that Man United are heavily interested in Camavinga. They have made some approaches to find out what can be done, how can the move be facilitated if there's interest in making the move, and what do we need to do. And I think, guys, this is very, very good. Camavinga is a young talent, very, very good in the defensive midfield role. He can also play that centre-back role as well. So, a versatile player that, Amorim likes. He has that fight, but he has not been getting consistent game time at Real Madrid. He has won as one of the biggest clubs in the world in La Liga as well. They've recently won the UCL last season, but maybe game time might be more important for him. And play for another top club as the best club in English history might be a good offer for the young French international. Let's see how it goes, as it's reported that Kobbie Mainoo, Mason Mount, Casemiro, and Christian Eriksen are to occupy the central midfield role, but this has not stopped the speculation because Eriksen is expected to leave, and Casemiro has been touted to depart at the end of this campaign. So it might be a situation where there are 2 players going to be leaving at the end of the summer, and we will definitely be needing to replace them. The likes of Kobbie Mainoo coming in, young Dan Gore Jr. as well. It's going to be interesting, but these guys will not be, main starters as they are still very young. Kobbie Mainoo has made a very full debut last season, so he might be more consistently or might be more touted to be in the starting lineup. But Dan Gore Jr., we're certainly going to need more backup than just him. So looking at it, a new midfielder could be pursued in the next summer, and the Barnabout Digital claim that United have established contact with Camavinga's entourage via intermediaries, and the Frenchman is also aware of the reported interest, and he's flattered to be linked with the club. However, the Rennes graduate still has 5 more years of his contract with Los Blancos, which might provide a challenge in landing Camavinga. This report is going to be continuing, guys. So for now, I'm going to leave you with this information, and we're going to keep it moving because you know what? There are some talks about some players who might be given a lifeline, and not more to talk about, but Anthony. Everyone knows I have a certain soft spot for the Brazilian. I think he's going to make his way back into the squad. And in recent training, we are hearing the reports that he is going to get a final opportunity to revive his United career. And, after moving on for a whopping 84 million in the summer of 2022, he has only bagged 12 goals, 5 assists, and 87 appearances for the Red Devils. a very, very similar statistic to Jadon Sancho. It's almost identical. In fact, he only has one more assist than the Englishman who left the club for Chelsea this summer. So it's one of those things. In the 2 seasons he's been at the club, he's done more than Jadon Sancho, yet fans want Jadon Sancho back, but they don't want to give Anthony a chance. I mean, Sancho's been here for 3 seasons. He has the same statistics as 12 goals, 4 assists, to be fair, 1 less than Anthony in the last 2 seasons. So it's interesting, guys, to see how it might go. There are reports that he has been training as the right wing-back role. We know he's left-footed as well, so playing at the left wing-back role should not be that difficult. If he can make one side, he can do it on the other. So let's see how it goes. It's going to be interesting to see if the Brazilian can get himself back. Currently, right now, he's been operating in that role in training, and he might be given a shock start tomorrow. If that happens and he performs well, maybe it might be the start of the resurrection of his United career. Now, moving on to some other interesting news is the fact that there are some reports coming in about some other players that might be moving to Manchester United. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's some reports coming in about some forward interesting moves. As you know, there have been many reports about talking about, the likes of Victor Gyökeres coming to Manchester United, but it has not seen to light, as the striker has himself ruled out a move in January, but has opened the possibility to a possible move in the summer with a gentleman agreement in place that would see United be able to get the player in for less than the reported release clause, somewhere in the region of £68 million and not £87 million as reported for his release clause. Now, we will see how that goes. There's a lot of time between now and then, but more importantly, there's some other reports and other forwards that we are being linked with. One of them, another French international, I would say, for my liking, not a player that I would be interested in or that we should be looking to bring to Manchester United. He has been struggling and been, in my opinion, overrated, to be fair. He's played for Borussia Mönchengladbach. In Germany, I've had the privilege to see him live a few times and to see him in German league football, and he has always struggled. To come to the Premier League where the pace is a lot quicker, it may not be the right fit for him, as he's been in France struggling for the past season and a half after being bought for somewhere in the region of £70 million. Now, guys, there's some recent interest in United that might be a strategic gamble, as it will be a loan move. So I will not rule it out, guys, because a loan might be significantly interesting in the sense that he's not going to be our player, and if he wants to become our player, he's going to have to perform well. But if he does perform well, then it's going to put pressure on PSG, to sell him for a higher fee or to try to recoup all the funds that they used to pay for him. And we know what that's like with PSG, as we had to pay similarly the fee that they paid to remove their player, who's Manuel Ugarte, that came from Sporting the year before, for the similar fee of £50 million, which is what United paid. And to be fair, it's going to be interesting. Let's see how it goes. Randall Colmani is a young player. He is not yet 23, and he has a lot of talent. He has a lot of pace. He's a striker, so it might be an option. Maybe Ruben Amorim can get the best out of him. Let's see how it goes. Alone, I wouldn't say it prepares too much risk, but I would still stay away from signing a player of that nature, because you know what, guys, for me, I have a certain type of striker in mind, and if I had the choice, I would choose the likes of maybe Ademola Lookman, or I would wait in the summer to get my hands on the likes of a Victor Gyökeres. Now, Victor Gyökeres has seen a lot of recent resurgence around his name, and that's mostly because of his recent form. It's been scintillating, to be fair. He's scored over 40 goals already this season, and he could be right on track to be scoring somewhere in the region of 60 goals in his competition played this year. Now, while that is going to be very interesting, there's another report coming in from Cuco Sports in Italy that says that Man United have shown interest in Ademola Lookman, and the race for him in the region of 60 to 70 million pounds would cost United somewhere in the region of 47 to 53 million pounds, which is quite, a good conversion rate, seeing that the British pound is higher than the euro. Now, it might be interesting if United could get their hands on this player, but we do know for a fact that he came to the Premier League a few seasons before, and he did not have a good time. He was at Leicester for 2 seasons and did not do very well, where he was moved on, and then he didn't do so well even when moved on to a lower team, and he eventually found his way to Atalanta, where he has been showing a lot of promise and consistency with his good scoring form. He was one of the top scorers in the Europe last season, winning the Europa League with Atalanta, scoring the first ever hat-trick by any attacking player in the competition final on that day. So it's going to be very interesting to see what United does. There's a lot of interesting prospects, marking up the door for Manchester United if they were to be really interested in getting their hands on some players in this transfer window. And for what it's worth, guys, I would say there's a lot of interest, there's a lot of hope, and there's a lot of speculation. And that's because, Jim Ratcliffe has made a bold decision to go in and invest more money so that they can get their hands to bolster some players for Ruben Amorim. I think it's going to be very interesting to see if it's actually done. As you know, United are set to face Ipswich Town tomorrow away, and Ruben Amorim, everyone is talking about what his first starting lineup is going to be. I had my preview last night. Of course, I was not trying to dictate what his lineup was going to be. I was just trying to say what I think it could be for me based on what I have seen and what I've been hearing. Now, the very interesting that there's a lot of different reports coming out on the possible starting 11 for Ruben Amorim's lineup. As you know, it's a 3-4-3 system, which is very different from what we are accustomed to be playing. But there are some reports that Johnny Evans is going to be playing in the centre-back role with Matthias de Ligt off of his right in the right centre-back role and Lisandro Martinez in the left centre-back role where we are accustomed to seeing him. Now, it's a back three, so there's not going to be any left back, so there's going to be Diogo Dalot, who's playing right wing back, Casemiro in the midfield, partnering Manuel Ugarte. Some reports saying that it could be Anthony or Nusa Mazraoui playing in the left wing back role. Bruno Fernandes will be in the 10. Rasmus Højlund will be at the striker. And there's some reports that Marcus Rashford might be starting alongside Bruno Fernandes in that 10 role, where they might be playing some sort of left attacking and right attacking midfield role in some circumstances, depending on the situation. It's going to be very interesting, guys, because to be fair, I would love to see what Ruben Amorim would do with Rasmus Højlund. As we should and all know, he's a very young striker who has been forced to lead a line of a team that's not been performing at their best for the last season. And even while not getting the same amount of what I would say is chances and options that, most strikers get, he's actually in the 5th for lowest amount of passes received in play so far, but he's also 3rd for the most chances created with the least opportunities. So we know he can convert goals. We know he can score goals. He scored 16 last season and had 7 assists. So that's a very good return from a young player who just turned 21, leading the line of Manchester United, not receiving the service on average as other strikers in his similar position. Now, what I can say is with Ruben Amorim's system, he will be the focal point. Based on Ruben Amorim's system, the wingers are not the focal point, but it is the striker. Everything goes through the striker. So he's going to get a lot more touches of the ball this time, a lot more service into him. And I surmise that he's possibly going to be one of the top scorers in the Premier League this season, based on the fact that with less chances, he scores more than anyone else and at the highest rate currently of all players in the Premier League itself. So, guys, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Of course, we're going to be keeping abreast with the news as it goes because there are lots of interesting developments coming through. These recent developments of Sir Jim Ratcliffe deciding that, you know what, I'm going to spend big in this January window. I'm going to spend big. I'm going to do something different that no one expected me to do. I think this poses a very good opportunity for Man United, and it will bolster the squad and possibly improve morale, because this will also bring a seriousness, and it will also bring a sense of alert to players who are underperforming, because now their jobs are certainly on the line. Guys, big up, because there's lots of news coming in, and we are talking about Ruben Amorim and his big and bold statement. We will start to play the way I want to play. So it's going to be wing backs for Ipswich Town in the game tomorrow. And as you can see, Diego Dallo is there. A lot of us are expecting him to play in a wing-back role. There's also a possibility he could be converted into a right centre-back role. It's left to be seen. Let's see how it goes. There's a lot of hope, a lot of good vibes, and a lot of expectation on what Ruben Amorim is going to do, how his team is going to perform under him, and what he will achieve. And I would say to you guys, have a little bit of faith, have a little bit of patience, because you know what? It's going to be a long road back. And what I can tell you is that even Kieran McKenna is a little bit concerned about facing Ruben Amorim tomorrow, as he has been talking and he has singled out Bruno Fernandes as a player that his team must stop when his side meets Manchester United tomorrow at Portman Road. And it's going to be very interesting to see if they are capable of that. Of course, we know they've been performing really well. Not to say Rory Delap Jr. has been having a smashing start to the season so far. Ipswich Town and no doubt have been shocking, Premier League teams with the way they have been performing. They're in the top half of the table and they're not looking to slow down. They beat Tottenham last 2 weeks, 2-1, which is a shock to a lot of teams, because you know what? Tottenham was high flying, but they were put to the sword by McKenna's Ipswich. Now they face at home a Manchester United who have, some good vibes coming out from them right now, but have not been in the best form. We're a little bit ways off of the top 4, but 3 points could be very huge in that charge, because what separates us from the team in fourth? 4 points. And if we can cut that 4 points down to 1, we will be somewhere in top 7 at the end of this weekend. It could be very interesting, a whole mood shift, a whole vibe shift, not just for the fans, but for everywhere around Manchester United. And Kieran McKenna, knowing the type of giant that Manchester United is very aware and is alerted by focusing on what he must do to stop that from happening at all costs. Can he do it? I'm not going to be so sure about it. I think Manchester United is going to run over Ipswich. It's going to be a big game for me in the sense that I think United needs to perform. A lot of players have a lot to prove, not just to me, not just to you and the rest of the fans, but a lot they have to prove to Ruben Amorim, who is sticking his neck out, just like Ten Hag, saying, I'm going to back these players until they prove to me otherwise. So let's see how it goes. I'm excited for tomorrow. I know you are as well. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking, whether you're here now or you're in the non-live later. Please smash a like and subscribe. Share it around for your boy Mark N. Help the channel grow. Road to 2K is here. You know what it is, guys. It's one of those things, and it's one of those days. Premier League is back. Football is back. It's going to be a rush in the next few weeks. A lot of games to be held. As you know, next week, we go to the UEL, and it's at home at Manchester for Ruben Amorim's first game. But for now, he has to do it away. Let's see how it goes. Hey, Mom, big up to you. Hope you're having a good day, Mom. Big up to you. Big up to NN. Rim Job better win tomorrow. Don't worry, bro. When we smash them up, we'll be there. You will be there. Bragging rights tomorrow. Come through. I know you won today, so you will be there. I'll give you the link tomorrow, my bro. Big up to you, Auntie. Hope you're having a good day. And big up to everyone joining me. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. It's been your boy, Mark N, with the daily update. Manchester United news and transfer news and rumors and reports. Now have a good day, and I'll catch you guys later on. Peace out, guys.
Baby.